New round of deals has begun at LCBO again, and this time runs from September 16 to October 12. As the liquid asset manager, it's time to add new stocks. Hello investors, this time I only spent $287 for a total 8 bottles. Compared to all earlier liquid building, I'm saving money this time. As usual, we are dividing them into common stocks and preferred stocks. And to recap, common stocks are stocks that are very common, readily available, and frequently used in cocktail recipes. And preferred stocks are stocks that are preferred by certain group of people, have its own uniqueness, and sometimes it's rare or limited. And let's start with common stocks first. First we have here is Licor 43. Licor 43 is a Spanish herbal liqueur made with 43 botanicals. That's why it has this name. This is also a secret family recipe like other herbal liqueurs. This gold color is pretty stunning compared to other liqueurs or Amaros. They are all pretty dark and black. Ooh. As I'm pouring, I can tell it's very thick, so it's probably very syrupy and sweet. This one is at 31% ABV. When you smell it, it does feel slightly more alcoholic than other liqueurs. You get a very rich, creamy vanilla, bright orange, and very syrupy notes. So the smell is like a vanilla cake dessert with a citrus topping. Yeah, this is super sweet. It does not state the sugar content on the bottle, but it's definitely more sugar than all other liqueurs. Underneath those intense sweetness, you get rich vanilla, very soft and citrus flavor. The mid to finish, you start to get some botanicals and some floral notes, but they are very subtle and a slight bitterness in it. The finish is pretty short but pretty clean. So who is this for? I think this is a liqueur primary with vanilla and citrusy notes, and because it's super sweet, I feel it should work very well in a flip. And if you put into an espresso martini, that should work pretty well when the coffee is paired with vanilla. I don't think you can actually sip on its own like some other liqueurs because the sugar is too much. So this should be a mixer to add some Spanish taste to your cocktails. Cheers! The next one we have here is Sortilège Maple Syrup Whiskey Liqueur. Sortilège, I hope I pronounce it correctly, is French. It means spell or charm. This is a liqueur using the Canadian whiskey infused with maple syrup. It is at 30% ABV. This is a Canadian iconic taste. The smell is pretty pleasing. You get that very signature maple syrup. It's very delicious, rich, and sweet. I do get a very small hint of oaky flavor from the whiskeys, but it's very minimal. They use Canadian rye whiskey for its base, but mostly it's dominated by this maple syrup aroma. Let's try. Yeah, first sip, you feel you are drinking maple syrup. It's very smooth and rounded. It's not overly sweet like the Licor 43. I feel this is a very balanced sweetness in the liqueur. After this maple syrup flavor settles in your mouth, the baking spices and the oaky flavor from the whiskey start to come out. The finish is pretty short, also very clean. You do get this signature maple syrup flavor lingering in your mouth. So who is this for? This is a very unique and iconic Canadian liqueur for people who want to explore unique flavors. I don't think there's any other producers outside of Canada that would produce maple liqueurs. It uses rye whiskey as a base. That means that it also have its own complexity in it. You can sip on its own. It will work pretty well in old-fashioned or in Manhattan, this is a delicious treat. And at a price of $32, this offers a very premium taste. The next one I have here is Pepe Dry Fino Sherry. This is an extra dry Fino Sherry. I bought it purely because it's on sale and I want to expand my collection on sherry. I'm not going to open it today. You don't have to get this. This is a pretty flavorful and nice dry Fino you can put into your cocktails. Next one we have here is Amaro Lucano. This is an Italian Amaro with a history dated back to 1894. This is also a secret family recipe. It has more than 30 herbs. Also, just to do a quick recap, Amaro means better in Italian, and Amaro or Amari is an Italian bittersweet liqueur made with herbs and botanicals. This is also a very classic one, that's why I picked it. Oh, it smells different than other Amaros, like bitter orange and a mix of herbs and spices. The overall smell is pretty light and gentle. There are some Amaros that are very intense. It smells very medicinal. This one, it's slightly medicinal but not aggressive at all. It's also sweet and have a little bit caramel aroma. The first thing you get is the sweetness. It's not overly sweet. It's a pretty balanced sweetness and bitterness. You do taste the orange flavor, herbs, and warm spices. It's not like baking spices. The mid to finish, sweetness goes away and the bitterness comes out. And that's where it gets medicinal. But it's not aggressive. It's pretty gentle, pretty smooth. The finish is pretty long. So, who is this for? I would say this is also a perfect entry point for people who want to explore Amaros. The bitterness is not too intense to scare you away from drinking it. Well balanced with the sweetness. I would say it will work pretty well in a Boulevardier or a Negroni. You can do like a 50-50 split between Campari and Lucano. It should give you a pretty interesting taste as well. Cheers. Last common stock pick is this Glendalough Double Barrel Irish Whiskey at 42% ABV. This distillery comes from County Wicklow in Ireland, and that place is also known as the Garden of Ireland. You can probably tell from its name Double Barrel that it is matured in American oak and then finished in Spanish sherry cask. Usually when we talk about Irish whiskey, we think about Jameson, and let's see how this tastes different than the Jameson. Oh, the smell is pretty sweet. Vanilla, toffee candy. After that, there's a small hint of dry fruits, some spices. Overall, the aroma is very creamy and sweet, vanilla and fruity notes. Pretty good one. Very smooth, well-rounded, honey, vanilla, very light-bodied. Then after that, you get very warm spices, some fruitiness, and some saltiness too. From the taste, you can tell this is definitely an Irish whiskey. But if we compare with Jameson, the flavor is more intense. This one is more rounded and smooth. For the complexity, I would say they seem to be equally complex. This one tends to be more on the sweeter side, while Jameson is more spiciness side. The finish is medium. There's a very soft and warm aftertaste, but doesn't last very long. So who is this for? I was thinking whether I should categorize it as a common stock or a preferred stock. I think it falls to the common stock category because, well, first, it's very common and readily available. Secondly, it's not super unique enough to be a preferred stock. I believe this is only like $3 more than the Jameson. This is definitely more on the sweeter side. The return on flavor you get, I think it's more than $3. So it's definitely a good pick when it's on sale. But overall, this would be an optional common stock for you to own in your portfolio. Cheers. Alright, so now let's do a summary on our common stock selections today. Here is Amaro Lucano, a very classic Italian herbal liqueur. A good starting point for you to get into the Amaro world. You can drink on it, mixing in cocktails. It has a wide range of use. Teal, Pepe, Fino, Sherry, extra dry. Personally, I prefer this in cocktails to give an extra dry taste, or you can make like a riff on a martini. That should work pretty well too. Again, an optional common stock to buy. I just collected when it's on sale. Sortilège maple whiskey liqueur, an iconic maple syrup liqueur that represents Canada. It offers very premium taste. I will say this is a must-own common stock if you are looking for a taste of Canada and want to add extra flavor dips to your whiskey cocktails. This is a blue chip common stock. Liqueur 43, a very classic Spanish liqueur, heavy in sweet vanilla, a little bit citrusy. This is not a blue chip, but it's a high quality vanilla and citrusy liqueur you can buy. It will work very well in flip cocktails. And lastly, Glendalough Double Barrel Irish Whiskey. Again, an optional common stock to buy when it's on sale, only $3 more than the regular Jameson. It provides a more complex flavor on the sweet side and a good pick if you want to explore Irish whiskeys. We have only 3 preferred stocks today. That saves me a lot of money. Let's first start with this. Wild Botanical Irish Gin. This is the same distiller that I picked this Irish whiskey from. And the reason I picked it is because I picked this whiskey and then I found out they made gin too, and I just want to try it out whether this is a good or not. So let's take on this journey together. On the bottle it says Wild Botanicals. The distiller says that they have employees pick up those wildly grown botanicals from the mountains, including things like wild growth and meadow sweet. It says that the gin will capture the flavor of the mountain and the vibrant flavor of the season. Smells pretty fresh, very bright. Yeah, it does remind you of those mountain forests. Something like cutted branches or like cutted leaf, kind of the vibe you get when you go on a hiking trail after the rain. You do get juniper, but again, it's not dominated here. Smooth, vibrant, fresh, crisp, juniper at first. After that, floral and grassy notes. Not like grassy, but more like leaf. And a very subtle and soft sweetness. The mid to finish, you get a lot spices and bitterness. The finish is very long. That bitterness will linger in your mouth for a very long time. Very similar to Amaro, however, not in a medicinal way. It tastes very similar to the botanist here. The juniper, those botanicals, the overall herbal flavor, it feels very similar to it. But the finish is different. The finish here, again, as I said, it feels like you're drinking Amaro. Like the bitterness will linger in your mouth for a very long time. So who is this for? After tasting it, I personally feel this definitely for a gin lover and explorer who wants a more wild and natural flavor. I think that should work pretty well in gin tonic because it offers enough layers from start, mid to finish, as well as in a Negroni because of its long-lasting bitterness in here. And I think we should definitely try. Cheers. Next preferred stock is Lot 40 Dark Oak Rye Whisky. So compared to the regular Lot 40, this is aged twice in new charred oak. That should give a more intense flavor, and also this is bottled at 48% ABV. So Lot 40 I have discussed in earlier stock report. It's a very iconic, very delicious Canadian rye whiskey. You can probably see from the bottle's color, this one is actually darker. It's slightly darker. Whoa, vanilla, caramel, toasted oak, followed by some spices. It feels more alcoholic because at 48% ABV, the aroma is definitely more intense than the regular rye whiskey. Whoa, there's a lot heat here. By saying heat, I mean it's very alcoholic. For the start, you get like dark chocolate, toasted oak, some vanilla, and it is very dry. From medium to finish, you get those spices coming out, those signature rye whiskey spices, as well as more vanilla and toasted oak. The finish is very long, also peppery with a small hint of sweetness lingering in your mouth as well. Very pleasant and smooth, also pungent because of the alcohol level. So, who is this bottle for? First, it is defined as a preferred stock in two ways. It offers a more intense flavor and it's not regularly seen in bars. Secondly, it is said to be limited edition, but actually it's readily available, at least in Canada. This is richer, more intense and spicier, whereas the regular Lot 40 is lighter and more fruity. But I would rate this as an optional, and the reason is because of its price. The regular Lot 40 costs $42. This dark oak version costs $58 on discount and $64 without discount. So it's almost 50% more expensive than the regular Lot 40. However, the extra return on flavor you get, I don't think it's worth that 50% jump on the price. The flavor upgrade is about probably 20 to 25%. So the return on the flavor does not justify the price increase. But again, it's 48%. This definitely is at another level of the drinking experience. Cheers. The last preferred stock we have here is Douce Cognac, bottled at 40% ABV. This is actually a celebrity liqueur by the famous rapper Jay-Z. Usually, I tend to stay away from celebrity brands because you pay an extra premium or extra markup on the co-brand, but you don't get the actual return on flavor. I bought this not only because it's on sale, but also it's a half-size bottle at 375 ml. The good thing about half-size or small-size bottles is that you can invest a small amount of money and to try its performance. It's like you are buying fractional shares when investing. Apart from its celebrity co-brand, the brand itself has a pretty long history as well. It says here it is from the Castle of Cognac in France. That place started to produce cognac probably around 1795, so pretty long history here. And this is a VSOP. VSOP stands for Very Superior Old Pale. It has to be aged at a minimum of 4 years. The aroma is pretty pleasing, very fruity, stone fruits, grapes, honey, small hint of floral notes. Underneath that, you do get a little bit nuttiness and small hint of oak. The palate is smooth and balanced. It starts with all the fruity flavor, then progresses into like honeyness. It's creamy and some baking spices and woody flavor from the mid to finish. There's also nuttiness at the end. The overall finish, I would say it's medium. It's clean, smooth, and warm. So, who is this bottle for? For this small size particularly, it's a good for you to try cognac. You don't pay a lot of money and you get to enjoy the premium cognac experience. Now, is this the best VSOP? I don't think so. If I'm going to compare it with the Remy Martin VSOP, Remy Martin is better and more premium. But of course, it's more expensive. I would say this is a decent pick for your portfolio when it's on sale. Cheers. Okay. Quick summary on the preferred stock choices we have here. Lot 40 Dark Oak version. This is an optional preferred stock if you would like a more intense, richer flavor with a higher proof. But consider its price. The regular 40 is more affordable and have a better price to quality ratio. Glendalough Wild Botanical Gin. I am actually surprised by its flavor. This is a $50 gin that performs very well in your portfolio. For the same distiller, I feel this gin is better than the whiskey. And lastly is the Stussy Celebrity Cognac. This small size would be a decent pick for your portfolio when it's on a discount. But if it's a full-size bottle, I would recommend a Remy Martin instead. Thanks for watching and hope you enjoy my new stock report on these bottle reviews. If you have any recommendations or have any feedback, feel free to leave a comment below. I will see you on the next trading day.